The Trump administration is announcing that Iran has allegedly agreed to a temporary ceasefire. The ceasefire would take place for 2 weeks. Now, if this is true, and I say it that way because it's hard to trust anything that comes from Donald Trump. He's all over the place, especially when it comes to questions of war and peace, life and death. At least it would be a relief from what he was threatening to do later tonight. This morning, he had posted on Truth Social that he would carry out the absolute destruction of Iran's civilization if they don't agree to open the Strait of Hormuz. Now it appears, if this is true, that there will at least be a ceasefire for 2 weeks.
No, yeah, so look guys, don't think that it's true. So there's a giant if in there. So what Trump is saying is that the Pakistanis who were trying to lead the negotiations came to him and said, what if we do, and this happened before the show and then Trump responded while we were live, okay, saying, the Pakistanis said, why don't we do a 2-week pause, don't go annihilating anyone. But the Iranians had already cut off contact and said, we're not interested in negotiations anymore, right?
Right.
And so now Trump is saying, yeah, okay, I'll do the 2-week pause as long as Iran opens up the Strait of Hormuz. But Iran isn't going to open up the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran has already cut off talks. So this is Donald Trump talking to himself. Like if he uses it as an excuse without the strait being open to not do something, great.
That's great.
I'll take it.
That's great.
Right? Yeah. But, and I'm super happy to have it be a bluff. I'm super happy for him not to ever do anything like this. But understand that it's fake because there is no one else at the negotiating table.
So I want to actually read you what Trump posted verbatim, and I'm terrified for the Pakistanis. Please be careful, the Israelis are probably going to try to kill you. But with that in mind, this is what Trump posted. Based on conversations with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir of Pakistan, and wherein they repeated that I hold off the destruction force being sent tonight to Iran, and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be a double-sided ceasefire, he claims. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable basis on which to negotiate. Okay, make a mental note of that, Cenk, because we got to talk about it. Iran had given him that 10-point list before, and Trump was not receptive to it, but we'll get back to that in just a minute. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. On behalf of the United States as president and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it is an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. I want to believe this. It's really hard to believe. Now, it could be true that Trump realized he's backed into a corner, he's desperate, and he's now threatening to carry out Holocaust, and it's not a good position to be in. There's a possibility that he's trying to craft some sort of narrative where we can exit the war and still claim victory. I have no idea. But when it comes to Iran's 10-point proposal, remind the good people watching us right now, Cenk, what that 10-point proposal included.
So look, the two sides are so far apart. So when he says when we're very far along in getting to a conclusion, that is not remotely true. So, and by the way, in the New York Times story that we just told you about, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff told Trump, we're not going to be able to get a deal. So why are we so far apart? America says we want you to give us all of your uranium. We want you to stop having ballistic missiles, stop like hand over your foreign policy to us, open up the Strait of Hormuz, don't fund Hamas or Hezbollah. So we basically control your country. Well, Iran won't agree to a single one of those things. They're not even close to agreeing on any of that. Then Iran, on the other hand, says, not only do we demand that you stop bombing us, excuse me, we demand that you get Israel to stop attacking and invading Lebanon, withdraw from all of their aggressive actions in the Middle East. None of that is remotely possible. And we demand that you give us reparations for this war. Do you think we're gonna give them reparations?
And no more US bases in Gulf countries.
And no more bases in the Gulf countries. We're gonna withdraw all of our bases.
Which, by the way, I love all of those asks.
But we're not gonna do them, exactly. Right? So we're not anywhere near a deal. There's not even another side, guys. He's talking to the Pakistanis. Okay, the Iranians could talk to the Japanese, but it doesn't make a difference if we're not talking to one another. And Iran already earlier today said, we are not even talking to you guys. We're not interested in a ceasefire. We're not interested in any of your BS. We're not interested in your threats of annihilation.
Right.
So the only way that this is relevant is if Trump unilaterally backs away. That the Strait of Hormuz is not reopened.
Right.
Iran has not given a single concession. That I'm positive of. There's no question about that. If Trump chickens out, great, wonderful. But he's gonna have to lie and say, oh, they kind of open up the Strait of Hormuz, or they're gonna open up the Strait of Hormuz later, whatever. Okay, I'm good with any lie you got as long as you don't do weirdo things like nukes or ground troops or any of that stuff. But understand that the idea that the Iranians agreed to this is definitively not true. The Iranians are not even at the table.
So we'll see how this plays out. But again, anytime there's even a hint or an inkling of negotiations, or even a third party, in this case, Pakistan, attempting to unite the United States and Iran in some way for talks, someone gets executed, someone gets killed, okay, by the Israelis. So I don't know how this is gonna play out. Israel does not want an end to this war. In fact, media in Israel literally had a countdown clock to Trump's deadline for the Iranians, where he threatened them with complete annihilation, absolute end of their civilization if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz. Israeli media was celebrating that with a countdown clock. So understand that the goals of the United States are not the same as Israel's. So entering a conflict or a war with Israel was a really bad idea, because the Israeli government is gonna fight as hard as they can to keep us in this war. So we'll see how it plays out, but I wanted to give you that update.
Yeah, Dropside News just reported that Israel will join the 2-week ceasefire announced by Trump, agreeing to suspend its bombing campaign while negotiations continue. There are no negotiations. So what frustrates me, Anna, is I want there to be negotiations. I want this to be real. I desperately want it to be real, but all of media will report it as if it's real. And if we do it unilaterally, then it will be real, because at least we're doing it. We're not bombing, Israel's not bombing, and I would love it, okay? But like, if they're pretending that the Iranians agreed to this and are gonna open up the Strait of Hormuz, that is definitively not true. So our media drives me crazy. Like, are they clarifying this is fantasy land? Like, the other side has not agreed to the terms at all? And I don't see that clarity yet. I was looking at some Earth Day and climate change designs on Shop TYT and really wanted to order a few shirts. I was ready to check out, but then I realized I left my wallet in another room. It's so frustrating. I really didn't want to get up and look for it. Then a light bulb moment. Shop TYT is powered by Shopify. And there it was, the familiar purple Shop Pay button. One tap and you're done. No getting up, no hunting for a card. That friction-free checkout experience is all thanks to Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform that powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. Thanks to their hundreds of stunning pro-level templates, they can help your brand stand out from the pack and highlight what makes it different. They did for us. They make it even easier by bringing everything under one roof, managing your inventory, tracking payments, and analyzing your data. Plus, you've got built-in marketing tools and email campaigns ready to help you grow your audience. Oh, and that magic purple Shop Pay button that I mentioned. It's a game changer. It's the reason Shopify runs the highest converting checkout on the planet. See fewer carts go abandoned and more sales go with Shopify and their Shop Pay button. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/TYT. Go to shopify.com/TYT. That's shopify.com/TYT. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.